What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves. Hi, what's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another great episode of the All Around. I am your gracious host, Dr. Anthony, and I'm sorry we're tuning in a little late. Traffic was a beast, and I'm just now getting on. So this will be a modified show, but we do have some hot topics that we are going to discuss. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring Mark Lee out, my wonderful producer. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. We had a comedy show here at Hey Ty, the cultural center that I work at on Saturday. So we had 4 comedians that did a show, a little bit of improv, a little bit of comedy. Some of them were better than others. You know how comedy is. Some are definitely polished and others need some work on their skills and all along those lines. But it was a good event and everything. And we're getting ready for a jazz concert this coming Sunday and everything like that. So a holiday jazz concert. And then we've got a number of other things going on. As a matter of fact, I got one of my coworkers is a playwright in addition to being a worker and everything, and he's actually having auditions about women, a sister that discovers the connection between the past and the future. So he's written a play that connects that as the young lady reflecting on the past, but also looking at the future. So it's a connection between the past and the future in this futuristic type play. So he's auditioning some people today, and we'll see what I think the production will be next year and everything. But it should be fun.
Yep. Sounds interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely interesting. You know, other things that are interesting is we got more crazy people that are being appointed to office by your favorite person and my favorite person, and we still got people that are trying to figure that out. And apparently, the sex scandal that brought down or is bringing down Sean Diddy might be bringing down Beyonce's husband, because now there's allegation of Jay-Z being involved and a mysterious celebrity woman watching the activities as they were apparently, according to the allegations, molesting a young teenager and all along those lines. But it happened several years ago, and this lady is now just coming out. So we'll see if anybody buys her story or doesn't buy her story, or Jay-Z, who is a major producer, goes down along with Puffy and others.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think so or whatever, because, I knew, and I'm not saying please don't take this, the wrong way when I say this. I knew when the Me Too movement started that it was going to be a lot of bullshit with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men have gotten caught up in this whole Me Too movement because women know that they have the upper hand, and they know that all they have to do is just say without proof, without, a shadow of a doubt, that this has taken place. And a lot of men are losing their career, they're losing their businesses, they're losing their financial stability and things like that. And granted, I am not saying that some of this stuff did not happen. That's not what I'm saying. But we all know that, history has shown us and has proven to us that women have lied on men and have proven to have lied, years later in order to, gain money, in order to gain, status, in order to gain, whatever. So my thing is, if this took place, then you are a complicit person in this thing if you're going to stand by and watch a 13-year-old child get raped by two men. So, my thing is, what did you do? So you stood by there and watched. So you're just as guilty. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, this stuff is, just getting crazier by the day, and, things like that or whatever, because, when people want you guilty, they can make you guilty, and, things like that or whatever. So it's going to be real interesting to see, how it pans out and things like that. And again, I'm not taking anything from, like sexual assault survivors and things like that or whatever. I'm just, not even playing devil's advocate, but I'm just being a realist about the situation, because for example, there was a young man in California who lost his career to go to college to play football in the NFL. They were scouting him all because a woman lied. A girl lied. And then it came out that her and her mama lied, and they sued the school district, got money, and they lied on this young man. And this young man, did time in prison and things like that based off of a lie. And then, there was this black man and we talked about this on the show before.
Mhm.
There was this black man who was caught up and went to prison because this white woman said she had a dream that he raped her, and he got caught up and went to prison. No proof, didn't happen, but she had a dream. So my thing is, for the people who are out there who are victims of sexual assault and sexual brutality and things like that, my heart goes out to you, and I implore you, you know what I'm saying, and things like that or whatever. Because I mean, I had, somebody touch me inappropriate and it just made me feel icky. I was in the nightclub and things like that. So I can sympathize, I understand, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is for the people who are out there lying to try to get people in trouble, just to be, getting people in trouble and things like that, this is for them or whatever. So, I have seen through the media, through like different outlets and things like that, where a lot of people were accused of all this stuff. We can take what's her name, Kamora Lee Simmons or whatever. She was talking about she did whatever she did when she was 15, 16 years old and things like that. But you're not, technically you're a child, but you were also out there and things like that. And this man became your husband, and now you're talking about you were, like abused and things like that. What are you trying to gain? You've already got, the company baby fat and things like that or whatever. And, a lot of times these parents put these children out there, in these spaces or whatever to obtain, money to get these, these powerful men and things like that. And am I saying that is right? No, I'm not. Because look at R. Kelly. The parents were funneling their children to him because they knew that he liked them young and things like that. So my thing is, if R. Kelly got to go to jail, everybody else need to go to jail. So since everybody else not in jail, they need to free R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? And even with Bill Cosby, Andrea Constand said that he never forced her to do anything, but he still went to prison based off of, testimony and, things like that or whatever, based off of women's testimony who wasn't even at the Playboy Mansion. Based women testimony who, lied, and it was proven that they did lie because these women were looking for a payout and a payday. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not by no means taking anything away from the victim. You know what I'm saying? If it happened, I want to see that person prosecuted. But at the same time, I don't want nobody to, have their livelihood threatened and, things like that based off of a lie. Even when I was at when I worked for the prison, I lost my job because I reported a situation where a prison guard was, sexually abusing one of the students, the female students in the jail. And I fought tooth and nail to get this man up out of there, because my thing is, y'all should not have him nowhere around these children. And I lost it when I saw him still coming to work. So I started writing, sending emails and things like that. But, instead of getting rid of him, they got rid of me. You know what I'm saying? So, I understand, both sides of it. But at the end of the day, I don't want no innocent person to, be caught up and to go into, jail based off of a lie and things like that or whatever, because somebody is looking for a payout.
Because somebody lied or something like that. I got another quick question for you, because it comes down to the world of sports and everything. And I don't know that I agree. Some people say it is very true, but a basketball player that is known here in this area, meaning James Worthy, has got some pushback because, like I said, he was a 7-time All-Star and a key member of the Los Angeles Lakers championship team in the 80s. And he says that the game has softened. So despite the great works of LeBron James and others, he feels that they are softer compared to when he was in playing basketball. And that's when, of course, Michael Jordan and others were as well, and even the bad boys of the Detroit Pistons and all along those lines. So do you think that the game has softened, or is it still the same game that it was back in the 80s?
I don't think the game has softened or anything like that. I'll call you back, Thompson. I don't think the game has softened. I'm doing my show. I don't think the game has softened or anything like that. I just think, you're playing with different type players. That's just like if we take the evolution of education, the children that we deal with are not like the children that we dealt with in the past, and not like the children that we, grew up with when we were coming through school and things like that or whatever. So, it's the evolution of the game. It's the evolution of people and things like that. Could some of these players play when they were playing? No, quite naturally, no. You know what I'm saying? Because they were a little tougher. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, The game is evolving, players are evolving, and things like that. Now, are some of the players soft? Some of them are soft, but the game that they played is not the game that they're playing today. And at the same time, the rules have changed, just like in football. The rules change. How they carry the possessions and what they got to do to get a touchdown. Both feet got to be down. They have to have exercise control and things like that, or whatever. So the games are not the same games that were played back in the day. And that's just my take on it.
No, I agree. The game's not the same. Speaking of the game not being the same, I read an article where another famous UNC player may be taking the job because they just fired recently the coach of the UNC football team, and now they're talking about hiring Bill Belichick, and we know what kind of cheating he did when he was a New England Patriots coach. They're also talking about the possibility of getting Julius Peppers in as well. So I personally think that they should go for Julius Pepper, but he hasn't even said he wants the job, but maybe somebody can talk him into it because he was a two-sport star when he was in school, and of course he had success in the NFL as well. So what are your thoughts around NFL coaches becoming college coaches? We've seen Deion have a major success over there in Colorado, and some people are glad about that. Some people aren't that glad.
You continue to talk. I need to take this call.
No problem. So a lot of people are going to try to figure out what's going on with that whole nature of whether Deion will get whether Julius Peppers will get the job, or whether it'll be Bill Belichick or a number of other folks that may wind up getting that job, and all along those lines. So it ought to be quite interesting to see what goes on in that space and what happens in that way. So, like I said, some people are trying to figure out what the nature is going to be in this whole situation, and whether it's something that should go on or not go on, and all along those lines. So a lot of people are speculating about that, and we'll see who they hire and who they don't hire and everything. And it looks like, hey, this is an interesting story. I don't know if Dr. Anthony had seen this, but sometimes people have success in the outside of their field. And apparently the Supreme Court justice, a Supreme Court justice from our community, is going to make history again. So Ketanji Brown Jackson will once again make history when she becomes the first justice to ever grace the Broadway stage. So Jackson, 54, is the first African-American woman and former federal public defender to ever be sworn into the highest court in the America. But she's going to make her Broadway debut with a one-night only walk-on role in the Tony-nominated musical comedy And Juliet. An entirely new ensemble role was created just for Jackson. So, hey, maybe she's going to find a whole other career as a Broadway actress, because this production has said that the producers have announced that Jackson's special appearance will occur during the production's 8 p.m. show on this Saturday, December 14th. Following the show, audience members will be able to stay for a talkback with the justice. So, in her new memoirs, Lovely One, Jackson wrote about her fantasy of appearing on a Broadway stage, writing, "I, a Miami girl from a modest background with an unabashed love of theater, dreamed of one day ascending to the highest court in the land. And I had said in so many of my supplemental application essays to Harvard, I expressed that I wish to attend at Harvard, as I believed it might help me to fulfill my fantasy of becoming the first Black female Supreme Court justice to appear on a Broadway stage." So looks like she's going to be appearing on Broadway like she wanted to and everything. So what's your take on it?
That's exciting. I mean, it's levels to all of us and things like that or whatever. So, we learn something new every day. That's why I tell people, you just can't take people at face value. You need to be able to, dig deep and get down into the levels of the person that you're dealing with and things like that or whatever. Because I tell people all the time, don't look at me and judge me because you really know nothing about me and things like that. You don't know my passions and my quirks and all that stuff or whatever. So I mean, I love that for her or whatever, because I'm definitely a Ketanji fan and things like that or whatever, with the hopes of meeting her one day. Fingers crossed, but I love that for her, that she's getting ready to live out her passions and her dreams. She made it to the Supreme Court. Now she gets to do Broadway. So I am super excited. I cannot wait. I would definitely go and support and watch her perform. So I am looking forward to that performance and things like that or whatever. So yes, it is going to be amazing.
It sounds amazing. One of the things I've been hearing people talk about, it came up in some family and friend conversations during the holidays, and I don't know your thoughts about it, even though we talked about it on this show before and everything, and I'm going to turn it over to you for a minute, so I got to check on one of my clients and everything. But just really quickly, what is your take on the accessibility of May-December relationships? Because I've heard some people that are big fans of it, and some people say that men have a better job or are more acceptable if they go for a younger woman than it is for a woman to go for a younger man. So, and particularly in our society. But what is your take on this trend? Because apparently it's a rising trend where more and more young people, both men and women, are going for older folks. And there's a whole joke. Matter of fact, the comedians we had here, there was a whole routine where they went on the whole cougar routine and even asked if there were cougars in the audience and everything like that. So what is your take on this whole dichotomy of young people trying to get with older folks?
I mean, I've had one, when I was at Walmart trying to come at me talking about he looking for a sugar mama. And I was like, well, that's not me. I'm sorry. I'm not that one or whatever. I believe in, compatibility. I really don't like, me personally, I don't like to date young only because, they're young, you don't have anything, in common with that person and things like that. I like to date within my age group, my age range. I'm 50. So I typically like to stick around in that particular area and things like that or whatever. Dating young people can be a little bit taxing and things like that. I just, for myself, I can't see it. And I like a certain type, of relationship, a certain type of man, a certain type of everything. I'm not one of the ones where, where you been, who you with, who you talking to, because you don't have to do all that with me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That sense of control and micromanaging and things like that or whatever. I'm a very busy person. I stay busy. I don't have time for the foolishness and, things like that or whatever. I live a modest, nice life and things like that. I just want to, be in, a nice relationship with, somebody who's compatible to me, who intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, sexually, and, things like that. And having a young person for me is not ideal. Like I said, I like to date within my age range. Now, if you find somebody who's compatible and, that person happens to be younger or older, who am I to judge? I'm not here to say, don't date that person, don't be with that person or whatever. Do what makes you happy, do what's best for you. But at the end of the day, you have to deal with them. I don't have to deal with them. Nobody else has to deal with them or whatever. That's between you and your makeup, between you and God and whomever else, But for me, it's a no-go for me on the youngness or whatever. Definitely a no for me. Like I said, I like to keep it around my age. I've been there, done that, tried the young stuff. It just doesn't work for me.
I understand. Hold on.
No, you're good. But anyway, I want to move on to another topic or whatever. I had, I don't know if I sent this information to Mark so we can show a video, but we were talking about the people who voted for Trump, who are the Tesla supporters for Elon Musk and things like that or whatever. So I'm just like, how is this working out for you guys? They're coming in hard and heavy, saying that they're going to get rid of, a lot of jobs, and a lot of these people who are Tesla owners, they work for the federal government and things like that or whatever. So now that you've put these people in office, how is that working for you? I guess y'all the FO or whatever, however you want to say it, and things like that or whatever, y'all out here rolling, talking about all the Tesla owners rolling to the polls and things like that. And y'all, in support of Trump and, Elon Musk and things. But, my thing is, y'all, did y'all honestly think about what y'all were doing when y'all actually went to the polls, or y'all were just trying to vote against a female and a Black female at that? Y'all chose, a person who has 34 felonies, a convicted, sex offender, a person who has talked about people with disabilities, misogynist, xenophobic, and things like that. And y'all put this person in the White House instead of somebody who wanted to, give, money for people to purchase homes and, actually work for the people and actually bring the economy down and things like that or whatever. So, all y'all Tesla people out there that drove to the polls to vote for these people, how is it working out for y'all? That many of y'all about to lose y'all jobs and lose your livelihood and things like that or whatever. How's it working out?
It's probably not working out for them that well, losing jobs, losing stuff left and right and everything. And now they're also finding different people that have different jobs that they don't understand, because this whole cabinet is an interesting cabinet. We got everybody from RFK Jr. to Christy Nome to a number of other people that were his friends that are now getting various jobs, including the woman that was involved with UFC and wrestling and or I guess that's Ultimate Fighting and everything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
she was definitely involved in that space, and now she's going to be running, ironically, the department that you're part of, the education department and everything. And I don't know that she has any background in education, but Miss McMahon will be definitely running this department and definitely along those lines. And even I think somebody else, Dana, is affiliated with that, is saying that many of the old school boxers that were old school fighters need to retire. And even some of them are pushing back saying that they're not ready to retire, despite the fact that Dana is trying to force them into retirement and all along those lines. And I did see another interesting story you might be interested in. The BLM leader is calling on black vigilantes after the Daniel Penny acquittal. So there's been this acquittal recently, and the leader of the BLM is calling on there to be black vigilantes and all in that space. So and that was reported by the Daily Mail and all in that kind of way. So they're actually asking for there to be some retribution and everything. So the BML Greater New York founder Hawk Newsom calls for black vigilantes on December 6th as he addressed the crowd outside the New York City courthouse following Daniel Penny's acquittal in the death of Jordan Neely. So he called for that. That would have been earlier today that he actually called for that. So that was early today that he called. So are we going to see a rise in vigilantism from our own community? And do we need to see that? Because he literally called for that after this gentleman was acquitted. So he even
But my
said,
thing is, my thing, Mark, and I don't mean to cut you off,
"Yeah,
is
good."
what did y'all think was going to happen when you went to the polls
Right.
and you voted for this man?
Right.
What did y'all think was going to happen? That's my question. What did you think was going to happen? We have fought long and hard to get justice and things like that. They're rolling back all these protections and things like that or whatever when it comes to, like black people, black women, and black men. Honestly, what did you think was going to happen? When he said make America great again, what did you think he was referencing?
Mm-hmm.
He referenced a part of history. What was it, 1725, 1765? The Emancipation Proclamation wasn't signed until 1865. So in 1765, your ancestors' asses were still enslaved. So he said that was the best time that America was great. So he doesn't even consider your ass a citizen. He doesn't even consider your ass an American. So what did you think was going to happen when all y'all black folks and y'all, colored people of color, Latinos and things, sashayed your ass over to the polls and voted for this man and put him in the office? What did you think was going to happen? Did you honestly think that this man was going to side with you and this man was going to sympathize with you? Did you honestly think that? So what did you think was going to happen? So all this stuff about, he's getting acquitted and things like that, we're going to see a lot more of it. Yeah. And the sad part about it is, a lot of these men, a woman places in the kitchen, a woman places here, a woman places there. You know what I'm saying? You voted for this man because you didn't want to vote for a woman. Now, how is that working out for you? Especially the Latinos. You know what I'm saying? Especially the Latino. How is that working out for you? They have already started extraditing your people to different countries and different places and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So how is that working out for you? Did you honestly believe this man when he said that he was going to be a president for all? Did you honestly believe this man? This man ran for the presidency to stay his ass out of jail. And y'all gave him an out of jail free card.
Yep.
But honestly, what did you think was going to happen?
Yep. Well, some people are probably asking that question, and like I said, vigilantism is something that has been used against us, but also I think it's been used for us and everything like that. Because I know that there was definitely that whole thing. I think you brought up on one of your shows with the gentleman that wrote was part of the Negroes with Guns movement and everything. So yeah, some of us may actually wind up carrying some weapons and all along those lines. So it ought to be fascinating to see what goes on in that space.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's I'm just baffled. Now y'all want to put up a fight. You know what I'm saying? We already told y'all that we were done. So for that 20% that sided over there, black men that sided over there, we already told you we wasn't marching for you, we wasn't praying for you, and we damn sure wasn't donating to you. So when y'all made the conscientious effort to go to the polls and vote for that man, you voted against me, my rights, my body, and everything else. You voted for somebody against your own best interest when you knew this man was an ass, when you knew this man didn't give a damn about black people, when you knew this man don't give a damn about people of color, when you knew this man didn't give a damn about, poor people in the middle class and things like that. Y'all still put him in office talking about Trump is for the people. How in the hell is this man for the people? This man, he was born a millionaire, billionaire. He doesn't sympathize with you. He doesn't understand your plight. He doesn't understand your troubles. He has no clue. Oh, when Trump was in office, we had more money. Duh, because of the Democratic Congress and the Democratic Senate. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi was the reason that y'all got stimulus checks, not the Republicans. Because when the first stimulus check came out, Mark, they gave it to him as a loan. That's why their income taxes were lower than what they normally would have gotten because they had to pay that money back. The second stimulus check that they received was because of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, not because of the Republicans. The Republicans said that y'all was fine. Y'all didn't need no money. Y'all didn't need no stimulus. But yet and still, they're running around here talking about they have way more money with the Republicans. But you know what I'm waiting on to happen? This recession that's about to happen. When he put those tariffs on all these countries and things like that, then he said that, he's going to put these tariffs on the countries, but he don't know if the products, he can't guarantee if the products for the American people are going to go up. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to have to pay for these products? The American people. It's not going to be the companies. It's going to be the American people. Yeah. So, I'm just laying dead. I'm sitting back waiting so I can make my TikTok, so I can troll all these people, so I can be like, y'all fucked around and found out. So how is it working for you? Because I'm going to be okay. Because I work in a field where I'm highly needed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be all right for the next 4 years. But for y'all that, on these contract positions and these other jobs and, other fields and things like that or whatever, how is that working out for you? How is that going to work out for you? Especially the ones that work for the federal government who sashayed their asses over there and voted for Trump and things like that or whatever. Let's see how is that going to work out for you. And then what's so baffling, not even just the black people who voted for him, but these white folks, the MAGA, who are mad with black people because we said that we're going to sit this one out for the next 4 years. We're going to boycott Walmart. We're going to boycott all these stores that supported Trump. We're going to boycott Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. And somebody knew I love me some Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, but I can't do it because they was diehard staunch Trump supporters. But you know what I'm saying? So y'all mad at us because we won't spend our money with y'all? What the hell did you think was going to happen? White people. You thought that we were going to be stupid enough to continue to shop at these establishments that basically said that they don't give a damn about, black people having, anything, black people in positions of diversity, equity, and inclusion, black people in, different positions, different roles, companies. So y'all think that we're going to support y'all and we're going to still spend our money? No, we've already shifted over to Target.
And well, speaking of shifting over and everything like that, there was another interesting article that came out where, and I, like you, backed Kamala Harris, but now there are some folks that are coming out. And of course, our friendly folks at Fox are the ones that are bringing this news story out. But there are currently some staffers of hers that are saying that they were mistreated and that they were having some even cases of outright racial discrimination. So this article apparently came out where they are accusing the campaign leadership of mistreatment and outright racial discrimination in a news article outlining numerous allegations against the now defunct campaign. So the New York Times apparently published a story Sunday titled "How Alarmed Harris Staffers Went Rogue to Reach Black and Latino voters. So the story details a clandestine operation by some campaign staffers who ignored directives from the top and took matters into their own hands after feeling frustrated by the campaign's lack of sufficient efforts to reach voters of color in Philadelphia. So they felt that they didn't do enough of a job reaching out into some of these areas. And I'm even renting that before, even like rural North Carolina and Philly and other things like that. So I guess some of the campaign staffers are having that sour milk feeling. So they're kind of like coming up with their own narrative of what took place and everything like that. And of course, Fox is going to jump on negative news. But what's your take on some of these folks that might be frustrated and are saying that they didn't do enough stuff in Philadelphia, Detroit, and North Carolina, even in terms of reaching out to our communities?
I think that's a bunch of bullshit, to be honest with you, because even if she didn't reach out, we as Black Americans, we made contact with our community. We were talking to our community. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing, and that's the thing, when you're dealing with white folks and things like that, they're going to always come back and say, oh, I'm clutching my pearls. I was discriminated against. I was this, I was that. You know what I'm saying? Because let's take Meghan Markle, for example. They said that she was being racist and things like that. It wasn't that she was being racist. Y'all asses just didn't want to take directives from a Black woman. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? I see it firsthand in my job right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? A white woman said that called my administrator, who's a Black woman, a bitch, and she can't tell her shit. So, it has nothing to do with her personally being a racist or whatever. This is how they're always going to perceive us. They don't want to take directives from us. So because we tell them what to do and we're in those positions, they're going to term us as the angry Black woman. They're going to term us as the racist and things like that. So the same thing with Kamala, campaigning and things like that or whatever. Everybody want a finger point and things like that or whatever. We're not here to kiss your ass. If you didn't want to work on her campaign, you should have took your ass right over there to them Republicans and worked on Trump's campaign. That's what you should have done. You know what I'm saying? Because you coming out talking about people were racist. Wasn't nobody being racist towards you. Just because somebody didn't want to do what you said because you said it, that's not racism. Right. It's not a dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? So, they need to stop with the bullshit and things like that. So honestly, I really don't care what they say about her and her campaign or whatever, because we already knew who we were voting for, hands down. It wasn't that, we didn't know and things like that. Y'all were the only ones, I'm talking about the media. Y'all were the only ones who, was flip-flopping and things like that or whatever, talking about people didn't know. Hell, I knew 4 years ago when Joe Biden took office that I was going to vote Democrat. I'm a diehard Democrat. I always vote Democrat. I'm not ever voting Republican. So it was not, a matter of me, changing my mind and other people changing their minds, because we already knew who we were voting for and things like that or whatever. So, they can miss me with the BS or whatever when it comes to, her.
There was another There was another interesting article that came out today on the root and everything. So it's coming back to Trump and everything. So the article coming out and says DC Insider is going to get bad folks, especially if you're Black. So they're saying that those of us that are minorities can expect to be targeted with increased oppression, suppression, incarceration, and injustice over the next 4 years. So one of the questions they ask is, where do we go from here? That's a question that they've been asked a lot lately, as if trying to redefine what it means to be American, to pushing their plans to cut healthcare for our veterans. But they're saying that the priorities of President-elect Trump and the MAGA GOP have come into sharp relief. And from the looks of it, they don't want to roll back prices at the grocery store. They want to roll back progress, especially progress that impacts us. And so for us, 2025 is about us keeping hope and progress alive while we fight against their agenda project 2025. So it does look like a lot of folks are looking at some of these things that are going to directly impact us and might even try to take us back to the 60s and all along that kind of era and all along those lines. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out and everything. So another interesting article.
The thing about it is, let me address that. The thing about it is, we already knew that this was his intent in the first place, but we tried to tell the other people when they were out there talking about don't vote for Kamala, vote for anybody but her and things like that. But then you had the backdoor 360 and you're begging Kamala and President Joe Biden for help now. You know what I'm saying? So we already knew what time it was and things like that. We've been dealing with this crap for the past 400, 500 years. So we wrote the playbook on it. We have outlined the blueprint. It's the other mofos that's coming over here, the other minorities that's coming over here trying to align themselves with the white people, thinking that they have arrived and that they're better than. You know what I'm saying? Because in the white eye, it's black and white. They already know what they got with black people and things like that or whatever. So, foundational blacks who are us, who have generations of families who are birthright citizens. We are foundational blacks. We ain't going nowhere. Y'all the ones that's coming over here who do not have, birthright citizenships. Y'all the ones that's going to be extradited and deported and things like that or whatever. Not only just the blacks, but, the Latinos and the other people and things like that. Y'all the ones that's going to be kicked out, not us. But we tried to warn y'all. We tried to tell y'all what time it was, but y'all didn't want to listen. So now, we going to lay dead. We going to lay low and do what we got to do to survive these next 4 years and things like that or whatever until this presidency over or he die in office, which I think he is going to die in office and things like that or whatever, but, for the people who voted Republican and we find out that you vote Republican, we damn sure ain't supporting your ass. I'm talking to the black people now. I'm talking to the black community. That 20% of, black men and that 10%, that 8% of black women, when they come for your ass, don't come for us because we are not supporting you. We're not donating to you. We're not marching for you. And we damn sure ain't praying for you. So please remember that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all fucked around and found out. Y'all gonna fuck around and really find out because we have no support for you and things like that or whatever. So, there is the Black Project 2025. So if y'all haven't heard it, go out and look it up. Look up the Black Project 2025. If you haven't, signed up for it, make sure you sign up for it. Also, make sure you sign up for the NAACP because they have grants and things that's out there for, black people that's going to, move us forward in terms of like opening businesses and other things and stuff like that or whatever. So y'all need to keep your ears on the ground and y'all listen to the word on the street because black people are supporting black people like we should have done. The big push now.
Should have been doing that for
black owned businesses and things like that or whatever. So we're doing what we got to do to support each other.
We should have been doing that years ago. I mean, we had our Black Wall Street, and we did a better job of supporting. What do you think about these folks? I'm oftentimes amazed. I mean, shouldn't be amazed, but a gentleman that got off, of a murder conviction because it was a case where he was wrongfully convicted. It was a brother wrongfully convicted in 1992, returned in January 17th. And then what did he do last week? He committed murder. So, like I said, apparently, even though he got off from one of the murders, this being Sharn Thomas, and he was ultimately released from prison and paid $4.1 million by the city of Philadelphia after serving 24 years for a murder he said he didn't commit. But on Thursday, December 5th, this past Thursday, he admitted that he killed Edwards over a $1,200 drug debt and everything. So it's definitely interesting how sometimes folks get off on one thing and then they wind up still going to jail, and I guess he'll be spending the rest of his life. But he pleaded guilty to third-degree murder and weapons offense. He is now 50 years of age and will spend the rest of his life in prison, even though he's already spent half of his life there. So, according to the Philadelphia Inquirer, a jury convicted Thomas of second-degree murder for the 1990 robbery and shooting death of a businessman in North Philadelphia. For that crime, he wound up being sentenced to life in prison. In 2017, his conviction was vacated by a judge on appeal after documents revealed that detectives knew Thomas had a possible alibi, but did not attempt to corroborate the alibi in that particular case. So, like I said, sometimes luck doesn't shine bright on everybody. Sometimes you have good luck and then you turn around and have bad luck over a similar incident and everything like that. So I don't know if you had thoughts on that, and I know we're winding down. But the other story that I saw, and I think you mentioned this topic on another show and everything, but it seems like we're having a rise. And I know women, particularly sisters, are into beauty and all along those lines, but we've had a number of celebrities that have been getting plastic surgery and all along those lines, from Patti LaBelle to Cardi B and all along those lines. Of course, plastic surgery is not a inexpensive venture and everything like that. So I'm just wondering your thoughts on this work by our celebrities. And we know that women, and particularly African-American women, are naturally beautiful and everything, but I guess some people want to enhance their beauty, and there have been a number of folks. I think I even see Janet in one of these pictures as well. So what is your take on folks going under the knife or getting Botox or whatever other methods they've got to get to enhance their beauty?
Honestly, Mark, whatever makes their boat float, but I'm not doing any of that stuff because I had a friend of mine ask me, did I want to get Botox and things like that. She has a friend that does it, and this is that and the other. She'll come to your house or you come to the. I'm not doing any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the Botox is definitely a no for me because I don't want to walk around like I'm like that all day. You know what I'm saying? I just want my natural beauty to shine through like it always has and things like that or whatever. So, if that's what they want to do, I can't judge you. You got the money, you spend your money on what you want to spend it on. It is what it is. But me, as far as me, because I mean, I've had plastic surgery done. I had my breast reduced and things like that or whatever. But it was medically necessary for me to get it done. But like I said, whatever makes that boat float makes it float. Some of the women, especially Black women, I just don't think that they need to like alter their faces and things like that or whatever, because I think they're beautiful the way they are. But when they look back in the mirror and they don't see that beauty, it really doesn't matter because at the end of the day is what they see and what they want. So hey, whatever makes your boat float, I'm good with it.
Yep, I agree with you on that. So on that note, we're going to get on out of here, and all along those lines, as we've had a fascinating conversation. I know a lot of people have been interested in what's been going on in your world and what's happening with you, and all along those lines. But a lot of folks
I'll have some updates next week. We have a modified show today, so I'll have some updates next week. Got some good things coming down the pipe, so I would definitely have some updates.
It sounds good. So we'll be looking for those updates and everything like that. Were there any other stories that you wanted to get to as we get ready?
No, I'm good because I want to do a shortened version today. I'm super tired, y'all. Then I have like a couple of more phone calls, meetings that I have to get to tonight before I can even like unwind and do what I need to do or whatever. So we would definitely go hard and heavy on next week. But unfortunately, we started a little late because I was late, and I do apologize for that and things like that. But I will make it up to you guys on next week. But the clock on the wall says that's all, Mark. So make sure you click like and share. We're number one over in the other part of the world, but we would like to be number one over here in the US. So make sure you click like, share, and let people know about my show. And if you're interested in being a guest on my show, just let us know and we can make that happen.
Sounds great. And on that note, we're going to get on out of here. But this is another fun show, and we'll have some more interesting conversations on next week.
Thank you so much.
No
Deuces.
problem. Deuces.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves.